So you can't use this as a target from up here. You want to see it go at minimum below that low here. And would you be incorrect by taking the largest portion off of your first partial if you're brand new doing that? No, you're not wrong by doing that. You're not getting a lot of movement, but you're not trading the dollar either. You're trading euro dollar, pound dollar, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, something to that effect. But we're looking for how prices want to go down to this level minimum. So you want to take a partial here. You might want to take a partial below that low here. And the wick. Whenever there's a wick, okay, if if your position affords it, always, 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 every single trade, I don't care who told you it's going to go where, and it includes me. If the price trades to a consequent encroachment of a wick, you must take partials if you're short just above it, because that means it might trade right to that midpoint of that, stop on a dime and retrace and spend some time consolidating, or all right, just reverse. So consequent encroachment of wicks and tails are imperative partial places to take partials at. So if you're short, you have to factor in that price level and the spread. So you want to see the midpoint of that and a little bit above it. If it trades down to that level here, you want to take that as a partial. Always, 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 always cast in stone. It's never going to be a deviation from that rule. If you are trading inside of a range, meaning this high to that target down here, which is that old daily order block, that line is where you think that the low-hanging fruit objective is. You're not saying that it can't go lower. You're saying that that's where you're expecting it to draw to on the downside. It is trying to get there, in your opinion. Between that level and this high, you're looking through all of this for inefficiencies. And I already disqualified this one. You have this gap here. Okay, that's a real liquidity void. If you extend it forward, you can use that as an objective, as a partial. Below this low here. But these wicks, these tails, okay, when you have two of them back to back like that, you're taking the longest one. Take the longest one, divide it in half, which you're measuring is the close to the low, half of that, plus a little bit for spread. When it gets there, you'll take a partial. We just happen to have a low here. If that low wasn't here and it was just a wick, it would be even further reason for you to want to take a partial there. I have learned many times when I held on to trades that didn't go to my objectives, these tails or wicks were always the culprit that I didn't notice in my first few years of trading. And it's the consequent encroach in the midpoint of that, where the algorithm comes back down to it and doesn't need to go back down here. It just goes enough into that wick to upset any liquidity. And then ultimately it would reverse if I'm wrong. So that's the reason why I'm teaching you that whenever you have a wick or a tail inside of the range that you're trading in, and you're expecting that range to be, broken out, you're anticipating that breakout, but you can't ignore any of these wicks, because many times they can completely reverse you and run your stop out if you've trailed it, or completely reverse on your initial stop loss.